right, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Living Show. I'm John Gray.
Good morning, Peggy Burton.
And I'm Jim Fuller.
I'm so glad to be alive.
We're all just living.
We're all just living, just barely.
Just barely. Oh my gosh, I got country music coming out every pore in my system.
That's right.
That's happening pretty soon, isn't it?
It's happening the 12th of August, 12th, 13th, 14th.
Which means we're deep in the throes of it right now. I mean, it's dress rehearsals and getting
commercials,
commercials, and getting the songs right is always difficult because, you know, the band, Bob Young is the band leader this year, and you know, there's 75 songs
or more. I was counting last night and trying to sort all that out in my head. Yeah, at least, yeah.
So you take 75 songs and you think, oh well, most of those are songs that we all know, but they might have been done in C, and the person singing it's doing it in B flat minor.
Yeah.
Well, no, he won't go to B flat minor.
Well, you know, but something else.
Yeah.
Something else in the band, you know, it's not just as easy as you think to make all that happen. You know, it's a chore.
Kenny Wren had that job for a long, long time, and this year that group wasn't able to do it. But Kenny, you know, he was a magnificent chart writer.
Right.
And Bob Young is a good chart writer. I mean, we've been working on it, and we're almost finished with all the charts. And Bob's got a good band with him. They're just a fantastic group of musicians. So, we're going to be ready. Yeah,
boy. So, don't you forget country. South Jackson Goes Country. It's 37th year. We're going to have some folks on today, I believe, aren't we?
We're supposed to have Samantha Waters and Jacqueline Sullinger Painter. Keep forgetting she's young married. Martha Brooke had to work. Martha Brooke Powers. She's directing the warm-up show, which is a big load off of me. She does a great job.
Yeah.
Trained her well.
Yeah. So that show, the warm-up show, starts 30 minutes before the regular show, and just because it's warm-up show does not mean there is not talent
fantastic.
there.
I mean, they're really good singers. Out on the grounds, we have the award-winning Rhythm Express at 6 o'clock, I believe. 6:30 maybe.
Yeah.
And there's food for sale, barbecue from Tiggy's Place, and you can get a whole meal for $5, I think.
Right. So all kinds of stuff. Great stuff. Great fun. So
in your job, do you supervise the writing of the music, or do you have to work?
I don't. I used to write all the charts myself and put it all together, but I couldn't do that anymore. I have so much wonderful help. The only thing that I have to really do is to remain standing. No, I do a lot. I do a lot more than people don't see. Yeah.
Well, Peggy is
organizing there in the background.
Peggy's a very good producer, and Peggy knows what she wants, and she knows how things need to look and how things need to sound, and she'll be in the back, and something will be going on stage, and all of a sudden she'll come down at a trot. And she'll grab somebody by the neck and take them up there and put them in a certain position and say, "You need to be up here dancing during this," because there's an empty spot on the stage, and that particular song might need a waltz or something like that going on. So she's very good on the production side of this thing.
Sweet to say that.
You just can't let people throw them up there. They've got to be told what to do.
And somebody has to be willing to say no when something's not working.
That's right.
That's the way it goes. I'm so fortunate this year to have Sid Wing and Gina Wing back from Alabama doing stage managing, and Sid has helped out with sound and grabbed Rob Austell, and it's going to be okay because Rex Mize' house burned, which is tragic, and he has moved to Mississippi.
And he lost a daughter also, didn't he?
He lost a daughter.
A couple of weeks before that.
But you know what it's like. It's like a family reunion. But this year we're having to rebuild a lot of pieces.
We're bringing some cousins in that hadn't shown up in a while. You know, every now and then there's a cousin or an old drunk uncle that's been kicked out. You know, shows back up. I remember when my great grandfather Tidwell died, and my granddaddy was one of 12.
Oh my goodness!
And in Dixon, in Bon Aqua, Tennessee, and on funeral day, here comes Carl. Uncle Carl, and he'd been kicked out 10, 12 years ago.
Really?
Yeah, he was a rascal and a renegade and a country music. He played music on the radio, and he liked to nip that whiskey pretty good. But on funeral day, everybody embraced Carl, and he was he was brought back into the fold.
Which is that's a
That's how it
Christian thing
should
to
be.
do.
I
Of
find
course
it
is.
interesting that he played country music, because
Yeah.
that's kind of why I quit doing that, because it was such a bad influence on me, and seemed
Make
like
a
when I
man go
picked up
crazy.
that guitar and we started doing country music, it just constantly led me astray.
But you know
Of
what?
course, I was in my 20s then,
Yeah.
and it was probably easy
I don't
to get
see that in
astray.
this country show. Everybody,
No.
I don't see any
No,
of that.
no, this is a different.
And I have some wonderful children that.
It could be that you're
come
not
in.
serving alcohol in the process.
Well, that's true.
But back in the day with Jerry Lee Lewis and Cash and Hank Williams and all those guys traveling around, that's where the music was. It was in bars and honky tonks.
Well, and you get by with stuff in bars and honky tonks that you don't get by on a stage
Sure.
with a paying sit-down audience.
absolutely.
And that's what I like about this country
Absolutely.
show, because people are sitting there
Sure.
ready to listen.
But when you're out on the road trying to make a living playing music, you'll play anywhere you can plug in.
Well,
Yeah.
because for so many musicians, and I believe this is true of any kind of artist, I honestly don't think it's a choice. I think it's something you have to do.
Oh, sure.
I don't
Sure.
think I could breathe if I didn't do music.
It's your church.
Yeah,
Well,
absolutely.
I don't know about that, but anyway.
I saw an interesting show the other night
It's mine.
Yeah.
on the Carter sisters. Mother Maybelle Carter and
Yeah.
June Carter and all of them. And of course, they were very poor people and grew up in the country and made it big in
Yeah.
country music, which was fine. But in Mother Maybelle Carter, she was the elder, I guess.
Right. Played that auto harp.
Yeah, in her later years, before she died, she was a big star on the circuit where the folk singers,
Right.
folk singers from the '60s were.
Right.
And anyway, she loved doing it, and the crowds loved her and everything. Right, but her granddaughter told the story about her that she loved being around these guys. She played with the Nitty Gritty Dirt Band at
You're
one
right.
point, and she called them the Dirty Boys. She couldn't remember
She
the
couldn't
name.
remember their
their
name.
names. But
There's Mom Maybelle out there,
Anyway.
those dirty boys.
she decided she was going to cut another gospel album before she died. And she was planning all the songs that she was going to put in it, and she loved the song and One Toke Over the Line. and her granddaughter says, "You can't do that song." And she said, "What do you mean? It's gospel. One toke over the line,
Yeah.
sweet Jesus." and so they explained to her what a toke was. And she said, "Well, I wondered what they was smoking out there in that audience all of the time when we were performing." But anyway, she was still a big star, but she didn't know about
Yeah, I
some
had
of
the
the
chance to
modern day
see
vices.
June Carter and Johnny Cash in the
Yeah.
Philippines, because with the military during the war years, they would always bring in artists like
Sure.
that. So
Entertainment.
and I was so happy to see them, but not so much because of their music, but because they were from Tennessee, sort of.
Right.
I felt like they were home.
puts me in mind of a movie I saw about a month or so ago called The Songcatcher.
Oh, neat.
And if you're ever at the library or go on Netflix or whatever, get the movie The Songcatcher. And what it is, it's about a woman who comes from a university in the North back in the 1800s, and she comes into the mountains of Tennessee trying to find the music of Tennessee, and she's dragging this big phonograph thing with her that she can record, and that's what people in the mountains call it the Songcatcher, because it would catch the
yeah.
music. And it's all about where that music, that Americana mountain Appalachian music, where it all came from, and the people sitting and singing it in their homes and up on cabins in the mountain, and how what happened for her to even get to where they would even let her stand on their front porch. Because she was in Starch and university and all of that. But it's a wonderful movie. It's called The Songcatcher. If you have an opportunity to see that, it's very, very good.
I was always touched as a little tiny person. I've had to stay with my grandparents a lot because my parents worked all the time. But usually on the weekend, they had some friends who'd come from Nashville, and they'd all play their banjos and their guitars, and that was such a happy time for me. Somebody
Yeah,
would buck
yeah.
dance, you know.
Yeah.
It was just fun.
Oh, I know the other thing I wanted to mention. If anybody out there, I had a lady call me yesterday who wants to buy a Dobro. And she said, Dulcimer, and she said, it's a shame that we still don't have our Dulcimer convention
Society, yeah.
and society here
Paul
in Tullahoma.
Powell
And she had called Luella, and Luella said the only ones they had were owned by family members.
Yeah.
And this woman would like to find one and buy one and learn how to play. And so give me a call if you know of anybody. I told her to go to KK's and see if they might have one, but I don't know where else. So she's a customer of ours on Tennessee Traveler, and she's looking to find a Dulcimer. And you know, I'm also sad that went away because Paul had started something young, and we all.
Yeah, very special.
Well, we all say, oh, well, Shelbyville has the walking horse, and Manchester's got
Yeah, and we
Bonnaroo,
should
and
have kept the
Tullahoma
Dulcimer.
needs something special. Well, that was one of the most unique, special things.
It
And
really
after they
was.
did it about, what they do it about 4 or 5 years,
Yeah.
they had people coming from all over the world to come here, and think how
Oh,
big,
yeah.
how huge that could
Well,
be
you know,
by now. It could be
Exactly.
it could be huge by now, but it was sort of pushed to the side
Well,
because it was not.
It's like everything else. Somebody has to be, some
In charge.
person has to make it happen.
Yep.
Some person has to make it happen.
Who's
Doesn't matter
gonna-
how good your music is, somebody's got to make it happen.
Oh, yeah,
I mean,
it's
if
like-
you're going to have an event, somebody's got to
It's like
help you
a
out
reunion,
there.
class reunion. If somebody's got to do it, or
Yeah.
it won't happen.
Tell me about it.
Or a country show.
Yeah,
Who's the
our
next
country
Peggy
show.
Burton?
Oh, there is no next Peggy Burton. There'll be plenty that can do it better, but you can't replace anybody.
And how long have you done this now, Peggy?
This is the 37th year. I think a couple of years, maybe Janet Patterson and Rosie Graham did it for me because I had things to do. But we've kept it going for 37
right.
years.
And
And
it's
that's
a
why I
great
want these young
fundraiser.
people that are coming on the show today. That to me, they've learned it from the ground up.
They're
And
the ones. They're the
ones.
next.
Yeah.
The next generation.
I love them. They're
Yeah.
a good group.
What we're going to do right now is take a quick commercial break, and we will be back with today's show. Don't you go away.
The Russell Barnett Automotive family is the largest automotive retailer in southern Middle Tennessee. With over 1,200 vehicles to choose from, we are your one-stop shop. Check out our awesome website, russellbarnett.com. There's over 1,200 vehicles to choose from. Stop by one of our 5 locations. That's Russell Barnett Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram, Chevrolet GMC, and Ford of Winchester, or Russell Barnett Ford and Kia of Tullahoma. And remember, why buy anywhere else?
All I have to do to think about what I was physically before and what I am now, and I don't ever want to go back to that original situation.
The overall mission of the rehab team is always what is best for the patient and how we can facilitate maximum potential from every resident.
Well, the most important thing to me is that I'm allowed to do whatever I want to do,
Everyday miracles at Life Care Center of Tullahoma.
Get your news first, fast, and free with your news leader on 6 every Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday nights at 6, 8, and 10 p.m. Local weather, sports, community calendar events, and a comprehensive look at the latest news stories and news makers as only a video news broadcast can do. Get it first, fast, and free with News Leader on Channel 6, your local information network.
Hello, everyone. John Rickman here.
And this is Pat Welch. And John, we've hit one of the magic marks. This is installment number 20 of the conversation with John and Pat.
Well, I'm going to continue on with a song I did last time.
In segment 19?
Yeah, and this is Rocky Top, written by Felix and Boudleaux Bryant. As I understand that they had been writing serious music, and they decided, let's write something nonsensical. So they wrote Rocky Top, and of all the other music which has been forgotten, this one still remains. Once I had a girl on Rocky Top, half bear, the other half cat. Wild as a Top, Tennessee. Rocky Top, Tennessee.
Man.
Woo, Lawsy,
Woo, John.
Lawsy.
My father played at Alabama, and I'm an Alabama fan, but that got my hair on my arms up. You put a little effort in that one.
Well, I warmed up a little bit.
There we go.
Yeah.
Well, we left off with the Majors family.
We were in Lynchburg.
Right, we were in Lynchburg. Put up picture number 1 again, please, Philip. Last week we talked about the Majors family, which of course was on the far right is Coach Shirley Majors, who coached at Lynchburg and Huntland very, very successfully, both places. And then to his side, going right to left first is Johnny, who was the oldest and became the head coach at UT. Next to him was Joe, who became a quarterback at Florida State. And then Bill, who we'll talk about even more today. He was an 8th grader in that picture. And then the next is Larry, who played at Swanee for his daddy. And then on the far left was Bobby, the youngest, who was probably the best athlete of the bunch. And John, we talked about we would kind of concentrate on one segment today of the Majors family, which is I want to talk about the 1965 UT season, and which is there's going to be some highlights in this, great times for UT, and also some tragic times at UT. And maybe, in my way of thinking, if success is defined by doing the very best you can with the cards you're dealt, to me, 1965 may be UT's greatest football season of all time. This was coming after a period after Coach Nalen retired. UT struggled a little bit, and there were several coaches in between 1964 and when Coach Nalen retired. But in '64, they were going to hire another coach, and they were going to get away from the single wing. That had been used against them in recruiting several times, and they lost people, great football players. And East Tennessee High Schools, one of them had been Steve Spurrier to Florida, and another one had been Steve Sloan to Alabama. And they thought it was time to get away from that Nalen part of the Nalen's era. And I believe Coach Woodruff was the AD, and he hired a real young assistant off of Arkansas staff, who was coached by Frank Broyles at the time, and he was considered the best developer of coaches. In fact, on his staff also at that time was Johnny Majors. And there were some people that felt like maybe that Johnny should have been hired or somebody closer to the Nalen tree. But anyway, they hired Doug Dickey, and he came in '64, and they didn't win a lot. I think they didn't have a winning season, and the jury's still out. And they start the year off a little bit better. They beat Army and they beat South Carolina, and they tied Auburn in the first 3 games. It didn't start, as early in the '60s as they do now, and now we're down to the 3rd week of October, so it's Alabama time. They went to Birmingham, and the 1965 Alabama team became the national champion. And UT tied them 7-7 that day. And at the end of the game, Alabama had the ball deep in UT territory for a chance to kick a field goal or a touchdown and win the game. And Snake Stabler, Kenny Stabler, who recently passed away, that was a great Oakland Raider quarterback, this was one of the first times he'd played. And on 4th down, he threw the ball out of bounds, tried to stop the clock. Somehow, there's all kinds of different stories of how that happened, but it did happen. UT tied what ended up becoming the national champion. The next day, being Sunday morning, Bill Majors, that was showed in the 8th grade on that second picture, he and 2 other assistants were going to work. They went to work real early in the morning on Sunday and worked for a while, then went to church, and then came back to work again. Philip, if you'll show that other picture up. There's Bill Majors in the middle, and the assistants on the sides were, one of them was Charlie Rash, I believe, and the other one was Bob Jones. And they went to work together, and one of the assistants Volkswagen Beetle and were somehow got hit by a train, and all of them were killed instantly. And it was absolutely a horrible time at UT. They had an incredible memorial service in a Methodist church, I believe on Church Street in Knoxville. They had way over 1,000 people there. There was some discussion about whether they could even finish the season and whether they were going to play on Saturday. And they decided they would play. And they played Houston. And they took black crosses and put them on the power tee. You could see at least the horizontal part of the cross on the helmet across the orange part of that tee. And it was such a sad time. I wasn't but 11 years old time, but I can remember how affected the whole state was. The UT band before the games played a lot of different songs, and they still to this day, I believe, march to the visitor side before Tennessee takes the field and plays the other team's fight song as a salute to the visitors, that kind of thing. Well, all those, they didn't do any of that before the game started. They played the entire time and played church hymns, and it's such a solemn thing almost, you know. They end up beating Houston, kind of lethargic effort, and the next week they played, I believe they played Georgia Tech, who was 7th in the country, and they beat them by 2 touchdowns, and that just it spurred them completely on. I really think that the tying Alabama was a big part of Coach Dickey's getting Tennessee turned around. But what a I don't know how you could practice. I was talking earlier, John, you could, the emotional part, trying to get over that be one thing, but without 3 assistants, I don't know how you could divide up the practice. Mm-hmm. And how that had to be one of the greatest coaching jobs of all time to get everybody.
They wound up 8-1
and 2. If somebody asked for a trivia question of when Tennessee would have tied both Alabama and Auburn in the same year, or when they would have tied Alabama to be a national champion, the answer is all the same, 1965. And Bill Majors, for people that like to check local history out, he was buried in Lynchburg, where he was raised, and I believe that he was born there. If you go to the city cemetery, you don't have to look around much. There's a nice headstone for the Majors on it, the Majors family, and Shirley Majors, the Swanee coach, he's buried there, and Bill Majors is buried there, and he's only 28 or 29. A tragic time, but a really great time in UT history.
That was a good story, yeah. Pat. We appreciate you sharing that, and we've been signaled that our time is about up.
20th has come and gone, but it will not be the last, we hope. Unless production says so, but we're hoping we can go to 21. Thank you.
It's time for every family and business in Tullahoma to go green and recycle. Tullahoma Public Works makes it simple and easy to recycle. Just place your recyclable materials, paper, plastic, aluminum, and cardboard beside your garbage container on the same day your garbage is picked up. Your recycled materials don't have to be in a fancy container. Recycling is not only the right thing to do, it makes sense. Recycling pays. Paying to bury our garbage costs each of us. Please do your part. Let's go green, Tullahoma, and recycle.
Hi, I'm Cindy.
And I'm Jacob. I'm the Rooster.
And I'm the Red Maid. And we would like to welcome you to
Roosterwear.
Yes, Roosterwear is a cottage industry producing accessories for men, women, children, babies, and pets. All items are hand cut and sewn locally. Roosterwear specializes in bow ties, pocket squares, scarves, cufflinks, neckties, and aprons of all sizes for all ages. Baby products include onesies, diaper covers, bibs, and burp pads. All bow ties, tied yourself or pre-tied, come with an adjustable neckband. All products can be made with the material of your choice, as special orders are available upon request. Don't be standing back looking at fashion. Create your own with Roosterwear.
Come visit us at
roosterandredmaiden.com
to find our handcrafted designs for
the cock of the walk.
Everybody has a dream. mine was to see the ocean. And with a little help, I made it.
Get your news first, fast, and free with your news leader on 6 every Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday nights at 6, 8, and 10 p.m. Local weather, sports, community calendar events, and a comprehensive look at the latest news stories and news makers as only a video news broadcast can do. Get it first, fast, and free with News Leader on Channel 6, your local information network.
And Josh Cole and Justin with Wild Sage Records had Rock the Holla Independent Country Music Festival at South Jackson Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Had carnivals and entertainers, and we just went down and got a little bit of video of that, and we're going to bring you part of Rock the Holla right now. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're on the grounds of South Jackson Civic Center, where Wild Sage record label is putting on Rock the Holler at South Jackson this weekend, and there's a huge carnival here, all kinds of fun going on, and you never can tell who you're going to see. There's one of those good old boys right there. That's a singer right there if I ever seen one. You know, there's vendors been around here all weekend long, and it's been a great time in Tullahoma. This is an independent Country Music Association event, and it is being put on by Wild Sage Records. Yeah, there's every kind of food vendor you can imagine, from pizza to funnel cake. There's carnival rides. This is in Tullahoma, Tennessee, and fun is being had by one and all.
Logan taking the stage for our first set, all the way from West Virginia.
Mama told me not to do it. Daddy wouldn't know. Everybody said he was hurt like hell, but I knew our love was true when I wanted through. A heart-shaped tattoo. Well, there's a little shop on 8th that made me sell tattered t-shirts and license plates. My brother Eugene got his there too. When you held my hand when the guy did mine, see you to the end of time. We gon' stand it to the bone, realize the truth, ain't washed it off, it goes through. A heart-shaped tattoo. It leaves a scar, makes a mark like your memory in the dark now. Do I do a heart-shaped tattoo? I don't care about you anymore. Punch up, punch your ring. You wouldn't know me now. I've been working out, got a job in Webster Springs, and everything is new. This heart-shaped tattoo. I heard you living up in New York State, got a wife and a baby on the way. Well, hey, baby, good for you. Well, you gave me something that'll never fade, a heart that just won't break. It gon' stand deep to the bone, realize the truth, can't wash it off, it shows through. A heart-shaped tattoo. It leaves a scar, makes you out there? There you go. We are so happy to be here. And thank you so much for everybody coming out and supporting this wonderful, wonderful project, Wounded Warriors. On behalf of me and all the guys on the stage, thank you for your service.
We get closer to a world with more birthdays. When we take cancer patients by the hand, we help them find answers and guidance and hope, and give them more candles to light. We're the American Cancer Society. Help create a world with more birthdays at morebirthdays.com.
Is this the year you want to get fit? If so, check out just some of the things Tullahoma Parks and Rec has to offer. Kickboxing, aerobics, silver sneakers workouts, swim lessons, boot camp, water aerobics, basketball, Zumba, yoga, pickleball, lap swimming, treadmill, karate. Get fit, Tullahoma, and have some fun with Tullahoma Parks and Rec.
When your family suffers the loss of a loved one, the caring and compassionate staff at Tullahoma Funeral Home and Coffee County Funeral Chapel are standing by to assist you in every way possible. We are proud to support local industry and offer only Batesville caskets. Many funeral homes don't own or operate a crematory. We utilize the only crematory in Coffee County. Your loved one never leaves Coffee County. We can accommodate any need and any budget. Consider our complete pre-need service to remove this burden from your family during their time of grief. Lock in today's low costs and protect from inflation. Tullahoma Funeral Home and Coffee County Funeral Chapel. Our family caring for your family.
Oh my goodness, I'm so glad you hung around here. I've got two of the most wonderful people on the set with me today, because without them I would be dead in the water in the country show. Samantha Waters. No, backwards. It is Samantha Waters. I'm about to put
yes,
Terrell
used to be
in there.
Terrell, but yes, now it's Waters.
Once they get married, I lose sight. Jacqueline Sullinger, painter.
Yes.
And I'm so glad you guys are here. Let's just tell me what you've been doing to help me.
Okay.
Well, I have been choreographing a lot of some of the show. I choreographed the opening, and it's been so enjoyable.
You did a great job, by the way.
Well, thank you.
I called Beverly Long, and I said, you'd be so proud of Jacqueline.
Oh.
She just stepped right in there and did a great job.
Well, I enjoy it. I love to see everybody just get together and perform, and seeing what you practice and plan come into a performance. It's amazing. It's
I couldn't do it without you, I got to tell you.
Well, we can't do it without you.
No, I know.
And Samantha, not only is, well, both of these people sing, but you're really creative when it comes to writing commercials.
Yes, I love being part of the South Jackson Goes Country commercial writing process, and that starts always a month before, I guess, rehearsals start, and we start just creating things based on what's popular and what's new and fascinating, and also by what we have to cast
by
as
what
well.
we have to cast, sometimes you can't think too far ahead.
Right.
And it's interesting to me what comes out of it all.
Oh, definitely.
And that's such a big help. But you're also good at moving people around and making the act make sense.
Right. We want them to look at the commercial, and as soon as it comes on, we want it to have some sort of feeling for the audience.
Why do you do this, Samantha?
Well, I love you, first and
thank
foremost.
you.
But also, I think it's a great opportunity for the community to raise money for the arts, because that's what South Jackson Goes Country is all about.
That's how it started.
And what is this? What year is it? Do you remember?
37.
37 years. And people have been coming together for 37 years. It's like a family reunion.
That's what
every
I was
year.
say.
Do you know that Mary Jane Couch is flying from California? I think it's California, or Oregon. Maybe it's Oregon.
Oh, wow.
But she's flying to be in the show.
Well, because it means that much to people.
And we have some coming from Kentucky and from Alabama.
Yes.
Wow.
And I think it's just like once you become part of the family, it's something you do every year. I mean, because I know I've done it since I was in third grade.
Since you were this high.
Yes. So it's just like every year you look forward to it. And I have missed a year, and I think I'm like, man, after the show's over, I'm thinking, man, I missed something out of the whole year I should have been a part of.
It's basically a family reunion, I think.
It is.
For me, it is. And I know that I can't probably keep this up forever, but there's something so special about seeing all these people. And some, like, I've lived long enough that now I've got grandchildren. Mike Sneed, who is awesome with everything he does and so helpful, has brought his 5 grandchildren.
Yes.
Oh, wow. And it's so cute. It is just, you know, you watch the generations come and go. And what you said about trying to keep a place open for the arts in our community, so that we don't just show country music. We show classical,
and jazz,
show jazz, we show blues, some theater. We do a little bit of everything. How about you, Jacqueline? I know that you started this young, and your mom was the one that just thought it would be cute to have the Grand Ole Opry show.
Yes.
How'd you feel about that when you were little?
I loved it. I mean, I think I grew, because I was very... I'm not as talkative as I am now and outgoing. So that gave me an opportunity to get out of my shell. And I would love to bring back the Grand Ole Opry. I think it was a great opportunity.
Like to see that come back.
I would too.
But it's just been an experience just growing through and just this the opportunity to get in front of everybody and show your vocals.
Out there in the real world,
you have to.
You have to be able to stand up for what you believe in.
Oh, yes.
To speak your mind and gaining confidence. I think people do that through the arts and through a lot of different performances, and it's certainly not just a country show. But I noticed, this year, of course, we're missing Rex, but we are going ahead and getting a new group to do the sound. Same with the band, those guys that we have had in the past are so wonderful and professional. Kenny Wren and Tim Hedge, they all did such a great job. But we just don't have them this year. And we have Big Bob Young, and he's awesome. So we're going to have it's going to be good. It's going to be a little different. But it's going to be fun.
It's going to be a great show.
It's going to be
I think so.
Or maybe we ought to tell them when it is. Do you remember?
Oh, yes, we should. It is August the 12th through the 14th. And the great thing about it is every day of the show is different. Now, there might be some of the same commercials in there, but there's going to be different performers each day. So if you come on Friday, that doesn't mean you can't come back on Sunday, because you're going to see different performers. It's just like the Grand Ole Opry. You'll have special guests each night.
Special guests each night. And the Tennessee Rhythm Cloggers on Friday night and Saturday night, they're out on the grounds at 6 o'clock dancing, and we have your mom running the barbecue sales inside the room,
so come
the
hungry.
building.
You've got to come hungry.
Come hungry. So and there'll be a few little singers out there on the grounds. But at 7 o'clock, we start inside.
Right, with the pre-show.
Last night, I can't believe it, Martha Brooke had the best warm-up show. I mean, those kids snapped it right off, got 30 minutes right on the dot.
Wow,
I'm so
she's put a lot of time into that.
And that's the thing. I think everybody puts a lot of time into it, and it's like we said, a family. And if people didn't show up to practices, this wouldn't be a show.
That's right.
We come together if we didn't have Miss Burton.
And we have a lot of people that are so good at grabbing somebody else's part when they're absent.
Right.
I mean, we had to do a lot of that Sunday. We had some substitute singers, but the music went on, and we survived our first big rehearsal. And honestly, I'd like to say thank you to our sponsors, because they help us to pull this show off, and we have 16 this year.
We have
plus Light Tube Charter and
the newspaper.
The newspaper, yes, Tullahoma News. We've thrown those in, so that really runs about 20 sponsors.
And I give it to you guys because every year the commercials are completely different and always amazing.
We have just worn out the zip line.
We love the zip line, but I know people who say, there's two things that I think of when I think of South Jackson Goes Country. This provides an opportunity for people to perform on stage. This may be the only time in a year that people do perform on stage, and that's
with
from being a little
band,
kid all the way to an adult. And then also, I know some people that this is their favorite show. I do all sorts of things in the arts, but every year they say, don't leave me out. I have to come to South Jackson Goes Country because of all the fun and the humor that's involved in it.
It is fun, and it's we have new sponsors this year, but we have a lot that have been with us since the beginning of time, and I guess Mike Long is one of those, because I think he's the first commercial I ever wrote.
Really?
He used to own a saddle farm shop.
Oh,
he was also a dentist. We had this little shop, and I went into that shop one day, And when I left, I was singing The Shop. You know what I mean? And I turned my car around and I went back and I said, would you buy this? He said, sure I would. so that's how I got started putting commercials in all the shows.
That is cool.
But Mike Long, he'll buy anything. I love him. He's a great dentist.
That's funny.
He keeps a smile on my face. Okay, girls. Samantha, Jacqueline, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you for having us.
We'll be back.
So you've been meaning to do something healthy, commune with nature, get outdoors and meet new people. We have the perfect solution. Come hike with us. You can find a Tennessee Trails Association chapter near you, including Clarksville, Columbia Franklin, Highland Rim, Jackson, Knoxville, Oak Ridge, Memphis, Murfreesboro, Nashville, Plateau at Crossville, and Upper Cumberland. We're on the web at TennesseeTrails.org. It's fun, it's stress-free, and it's good for you. See you on the trails.
Tired of paying for monthly telephone service, expensive long-distance bills, and all those crazy taxes? Are you sick of spending money on telephone equipment, maintenance contracts, and service calls, all for a phone system that shackles you to 100-year-old technology and your desk? Stop it. It's time to ship your phone system to the cloud. What can the cloud do for you? Bring together remote offices, workers, and employees in the field. Make sure that you'll never miss calls by delivering them to multiple devices. Modernize faxing by allowing multiple faxes to be sent and received at once. And deliver to email. Get your voicemail messages instantly through email too. And take advantage of an endless supply of customizable features. Host My Calls can deliver the cloud. All of this technology with low upfront costs and not one penny in capital expense. It's time for a phone solution you'll truly love from Host My Calls. Call the number below.
Get your news first, fast, and free with your news leader on 6 every Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday nights at 6, 8, and 10 p.m. Local weather, sports, community calendar events, and a comprehensive look at the latest news stories and news makers as only a video news broadcast can do. Get it first, fast, and free with News Leader on Channel 6, your local information network.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, this year is Beatrix Potter's 150th birthday. She is the lady who is responsible for Peter Rabbit and all of those wonderful stories that she wrote and published about 130 years ago, when she was told that women didn't have enough sense to do that. And only men could be published. And not only did she publish, but she also ended up being a landowner and being raising cattle and sheep and farming, and she did a lot of things and was very successful in stuff that women weren't supposed to be able to do. My wife Fran has become a member of the Beatrix Potter Society and has been gone through what she needs to be anointed as a reader for the Beatrix Potter Society. This Saturday, last Saturday, she had a reading and a tea at the Lanham Memorial Library here in Tullahoma to about 30 or so little ones and big ones alike who were there because they love Beatrix Potter, her artwork, her stories, and all the wonderful things that she did. Here's some video from that tea for Beatrix Potter.
We are at the Lanham Memorial Library in Tullahoma, Tennessee, and today there will be a celebration held by a member of the Beatrix Potter Society, Fran Gray, to celebrate Beatrix Potter's 150th birthday. There will be reading and there will be refreshments, and it's an exciting day, and thank you, Beatrix Potter, for all you did for all of us.
Welcome everybody today. It's a very special week. So let's have all the kids on the floor. That way we have room.
I beat this.
Who knows who Peter Rabbit is? That's amazing because we are Very happy to have Miss Fran Gray here, and she is going to portray the author of Peter Rabbit and all those stories of the tales of Peter Rabbit, Miss Beatrix Potter. So she's going to tell you a little bit about Miss Beatrix Potter. She's a very special woman in art history, too. So I'm going to hand the floor over, and we want to welcome you again to our Beatrix Potter Tea Party. Thank you.
Thank you, Miss Leslie. This is a very special week because Beatrix Potter would have had her 150th birthday on Thursday. She was born at 2 Bolton Gardens, Kensington, London, England, on July 28, 1866. And you know, her stories are timeless. They're still wonderful, they're classics, and we are thrilled to be able to talk about her stories and her life with you all today. And there's some really wonderful news because several months ago, a manuscript, a writing of hers was discovered, one more, and it's called Kitty in Boots. And it has one of her drawings, one of her illustrations in it, and it will be coming, bless you, it will be coming out in September. So you all be watching for a new Beatrix Potter book called Kitty in Boots. And it will have some other drawings by a gentleman who loves her too. And he was lucky to have his drawings accepted into this new book, Kitty in Boots. So let's share the reading of Peter Rabbit, and then we'll talk about some other things Miss Potter did, okay? Isn't this a nice big book? I joined the Beatrix Potter Society so I could learn more about her. And they sent this to me. I told them that I wanted to read, because I love to read, and I love being read to. So they sent me this book so I could share it with you all, so we can all see the pictures together. Even though you know it, let's listen with fresh ears and eyes. You can read along with me if you want to. The title is The Tale of Peter Rabbit. Can you? Good. Once upon a time, there were 4 little rabbits, and their names were Flopsy, Mopsy, Cottontail, and Peter. They lived with their mother in a sandbank underneath the root of a very big fir tree. Now, my dears, said old Mrs. Rabbit one morning, you may go into the fields or down the lane, but don't go where? Into Mr. McGregor's garden. Your father had an accident there, and he was put into a pie by Mrs. McGregor. Do you think anyone listened to their mother? 3 of them did. She made a lot of money, not only selling Peter Rabbit, but other books. You know, she wrote about Benjamin Bunny, and Ginger and Pickles, and Hunka Munka, and many, many, many stories. Jemima Puddle Duck, yes. Oh, and Jemima. And Miss Jemima Puddle Duck often got in trouble. I think she's somewhat like Peter. I thought that because we're celebrating her birthday, that we might sing Happy Birthday. Here's a happy birthday plate of Peter Rabbit. I often wonder what his voice would be like.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Beatrix. Happy birthday to you.
Oh, I bet she is smiling down on us. Now, thank you all for coming. And I hope you have a book there. Good. I hope you all will always love reading and that you will share Beatrix Potter with your friends and family, and it will bring you a great deal of joy as it has me.
Smoking tobacco accounts for 3 of every 10 fire deaths in the United States.
Tullahoma Fire Department needs you en route to a structure fire, 202 Main Street. Heavy smoke showing. Neighbors advise child trapped inside.
Lighters, matches, and associated smoking paraphernalia are the leading cause of preschooler fire deaths. We as firefighters know that most structure fires can be prevented.
I've got one! Command, this is primary search. We have a victim. Need EMS to meet us at the front door.
Please help us to give you a fighting chance. This can be prevented. Contact the Tullahoma Fire Department for a free home safety inspection.
What's a Tennessee vacation? It starts off like any road trip, and then, boom, adventure and thrills everywhere you look, which happens to be some of the most beautiful scenery in the country. Music here, history there, and all kinds of green in between. Come relax and unwind, or bring the crowd for some stargazing, or stargazing. Whatever you do, come hungry and expect an awesome soundtrack. It's all right here in Tennessee. We're playing your song. For a free vacation guide, visit tnvacation.com.
Get your news first, fast, and free with your news leader on 6 every Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday nights at 6, 8, and 10 p.m. Local weather, sports, community calendar events, and a comprehensive look at the latest news stories and news makers as only a video news broadcast can do. Get it first, fast, and free with News Leader on Channel 6, your local information network.
All right, we're back, and I want to remind you folks that high school football starts the 19th of this month. Tullahoma Wildcats will go into action. If you want to be involved with the John Olive fifth quarter show, which we're in our, 21st year of that. Give me a call at 931-581-5238 if you'd like to be a sponsor on that show. It's a live replay show of the Friday night football game done on Saturday and replayed on Sunday. So with that said, it's country music time. It's South Jackson Goes country music time. For the next week or two, we're going to be showing you what it's all about. Here is a version of a song I wrote for my son Jacob called Strut that he sang at the show a couple of years ago, and he probably was interrupted by his old man. Let's see.
Hey, baby, let's go to Strut School.
This next song is one my dad wrote for me and some other people. We got to keep your head high and strut through all the tough stuff in life. So get me going.
Further off the
star in my life, my son and my wife Fran's son, Jacob Gray. And we're going to close out with a song that I wrote for him about 10 years ago when he was going through some medical and physical problems. It's called Strut.
Oh, hello, ladies and gentlemen. This is the paint. Uh-oh. I just knocked a tree over. This is the paint doctor. I got the color wheel. Now, you know what a color wheel is? It is the wheel at the paint works where you pick all your colors to paint your room. It could be a multicolored beard. It could be a underarm fan. You never can tell. One thing we do know is that it's time to paint. You know, you can make your wife very happy if you go to your house and paint some rooms, or you paint the outside of the house, the inside of the house. It makes them feel very good because you work hard for them and they like that. All women like to see their man sweat. You know, they do. Honeydew is what they do. And you get to do it too. So you go to the paint works at 1960 North Washington Street and you see David Heikkinen over there, and he's the real paint doctor. He fix you up with color. It's so nice when the color is right. Go to Paintworks today. Martin Senor. See? Martin Senor. Right there. Martin Senor at the Paintworks. Bye, and we see you next time. I'm burning up.
You know what, guys? There's a lot of tree branches and dry brush over here. We should probably move the bonfire over there.
I'm guessing Smokey liked that idea.
Folks, we're back, and we're just talking about things from the past, all kind of good things going on. A buddy of mine and my wife, Fran, and a lot of you folks here in Tullahoma, Mr. Jack Moore, who is beloved by so many people. He's quite the character. He's a wonderful artist, and he taught at Montlow for years, and he's painted for years. Politics. You ask him about politics, he's a big Democrat, Jack is, and I mean, he's got an opinion. He had an art show the other night at the Fine Arts Center, an opening on Friday night. His show will hang until August the 20th, and I went up there to visit with him. Well, I couldn't get him to visit with me because he didn't want to do it. He said, if I go on camera, I'll probably say something that somebody won't like, and I said, well, you wouldn't be Jack Moore if you didn't. Because he always says what he likes. He's such a lovable guy, and his sweet family was up there with him. So I got a little bit of video from the opening night of the Jack Moore Art Show at the Tullahoma Fine Arts Center. Let's see that right now.
We're at the Tullahoma Fine Arts Center, and this is an opening night for artist and friend Jack Moore, longtime artist and teacher at Montlow College. And we're just excited to be back in the Art Center and showing some of these wonderful things that our local and area artists do. And we'll see if we can get an interview with Jack here in a minute. But there's all kinds of people around and looking for a good time tonight. Of course, Jack is a very special individual, and his artwork shows how special he really is. It's a different type of way that things are put together, and a lot of fun. opportunity to come by the Tullahoma Fine Arts Center and see this show. And of course, there's always a little bit of food and a little bit of beverage and great art. And that's Jack, the author, and the artist, and he doesn't want to give an interview, and so that's okay. But this is his art show down here at the Tullahoma Fine Arts Center, and it's spectacular. It'll be open till the 20th of August. So come down and see the artwork of Jack Moore.
Partners for Healing provides medical care to the working uninsured of Coffee, Franklin, and Moore counties. We are in Tullahoma from 8 to 5, Monday through Thursdays, and in Manchester on Fridays from 8 to 12. We provide primary medical care and offer an in-house disease management program.
My name is Rosie Mitchell, and I would just like to say I am blessed to have partners in my life.
Please call 455-5014 for more information. Thank you for being one of our Partners for Healing.
Hello, this is Janie Price. When my husband Ray Price would tour across the country, his favorite place to dine was Cracker Barrel Old Country Store locations. His favorite thing to order was the Uncle Herschel.
And the beauty of it all is forever, you'll be holding me to.
I miss Ray dearly, and I'm so proud that his last album, Beauty Is the Final Sessions, is available at his favorite restaurant.
A love affair to remember.
The project includes a duet with Martina McBride and harmony vocals from Vince Gill. Ray believed this to be the best recording he had ever made.
Oh, I wish I was 18 again.
I think you'll agree when you pick up your copy of Beauty Is the Final Sessions at a Cracker Barrel Old Country Store location near you or at crackerbarrel.com.
A world without breast cancer is a world with more birthdays. And signing up for the Making Strides Against Breast Cancer Walk will help us get there faster. The American Cancer Society invests in groundbreaking breast cancer research, and we're part of every community. In fact, 1 in 2 women newly diagnosed with breast cancer turns to us for support. Sign up today at makingstrideswalk.org. Together, we can finish the fight against breast cancer.
Camera ladies, thank you for putting a wonderful, sharp, contrasted picture on the screen. That's the way the viewers like to have it. And thank you, John, for that nice introduction. It's always a pleasure to be here and share a few wonderful thoughts that might be of interest and hopefully will be. Today, we've had some inquiries and some suggestions to do a little thing on one of Tullahoma's long landmarks. And this is not the City Hall or the Waterworks or the Water Tower or the depot, but you remember a wonderful, wonderful place at 121 North Atlantic Street, the old famous Candy Kitchen that brings back a lot of wonderful memories to a whole lot of people. And the Candy Kitchen was located at the place where currently the Tennessee Shoe Repair shop is, and it's same spot, same building. It's been modified and changed a whole lot in all these years. But as I thought to go back to the Candy Kitchen, that's exactly what it was. They had a big kitchen in the very back part of that building where they made candy. And I don't know who the first worker was or candy maker was or even the first owner was, but I do remember there was a fellow by the name of Mr. Martin that I think was part of Avoca, the Knights of Pythias orphanage at Avoca for a number of years, and he operated the Candy Kitchen, and the last candy maker that I knew and watched him make candy there was George Cooley, and he had a great big copper kettle in the back part there, and I think he had bottled gas to fire it, and he would open up a big bag of sugar and pour in that bright copper kettle, and it would melt, and then he'd put chocolate and caramel in it, and then top it off with peanuts, and after it got stirred up real good, he had a wooden paddle that he stirred his candy ingredients with, and a big marble top workbench or table, and he would spread that mixture out on that marble table, and it was peanut brittle, and oh, it smelled so good and tasted so good. And then of course when it cooled down, why, it was hard, and he'd put it in wax paper in the trays that he would display it with in the showcase up front. And he'd make taffy, and he'd make divinity, and he'd make fudge, and you could just smell that, and oh, it was so good. And if he just made a batch of it and there were customers in there, he'd bring out a little bit of all his makings and let them sample it to tell them whether it was good or not. And besides that part of the building, or the part of operation, there was the soda fountain that was up front on the left as you went in the door, and they had the marble top tables with the wide-back chairs there that people really enjoyed coming in and having refreshments and sandwiches and sodas and sundaes, and of course Cokes were a nickel then, as were other soft drinks at the soda fountain, and I think a cherry Coke was a dime, and chocolate milkshakes with several dips of good ice cream in there were 20 and 25 cents. Other people that owned and operated the Candy Kitchen was the McManus family. Lived on East Grundy Street. They had a son, Lonnie, and a couple of daughters, and they operated the Candy Kitchen for a long time, and it was so much fun to go to Candy Kitchen for a Coke, and then go down to the Strand Theater for a good movie, and after the movie, come back up and have a soda or a sandwich or something, and it was a lot of fun being in there. They had a big magazine rack, sold all the current magazines, and they even had one of the late additions was a pinball machine, and I mean that Mr. Coleman, I think J.L. Coleman, had the pinball machine there. And between the front of the Candy Kitchen and the kitchen itself in the rear part, they expanded a room there and put 6 booths, 3 on each side, and Mr. Coleman put a jukebox in the back there, and this was in the late 30s, and it was called a Nickelodeon, which was the same as a jukebox, but had all the latest numbers on the hit parade on it, and each number was a nickel, or you could get six records for a quarter, and that was a lot of fun. And they put a hardwood floor in there, and it was just right for dancing the foxtrot or the swing, and it was just so much fun being in there. Later, I think the old family operated it for a while, and then a fellow by the name of Norton Williams operated it for a while, and Mr. Bob Good from Columbia had it for a year or two early when Camp Forrest was here. But the Candy Kitchen was a place for all the teenagers to meet after school or after a football game, and they sold no beer there, and it was just a place where to come and have a good time, and such fond memories. We have a real good landmark there. Later, it was the first Kroger store was there, and Daddy Billy, my grandfather, had Couch's grocery store, and next to him was Kroger's, and next to Kroger's was H.G. Hill Company, and then there was the Strand Theater. But those businesses stayed real busy for a long, long time, and my hat's off to the memories of the Candy Kitchen, where we had so much fun as teenagers. Hopefully somebody would maybe establish a place like that now, where the youngsters could go and have a soda fountain and could dance and do the sock hop or whatever they wanted to do. I think it would be a great thing. And That's not the end of the story by any means, because there's a whole lot more to come, and we sure do thank you for watching, and we hope you have a good day.
The Animal Shelter has served Tullahoma dogs for nearly 30 years. Now, you can help us build a bigger and better no-kill shelter. Your tax-deductible gift is matched dollar for dollar, so come on, bark it forward and donate now to have your tax-deductible gift matched. Make your check payable to the COT Shelter Building Fund and go to tullahomatn.gov to see all the unique gifts available for your generosity. For more details, you can call City Hall at 455-2648.
Did you take your medicine?
Oh, gosh, I forgot it.
Her nurse.
You need a claim number?
Her personal assistant.
Let me just grab a...
Her housekeeper. Her cook. Her accountant. When I started taking care of Mom, I didn't realize the challenge of playing so many roles. But above all, I'm still her daughter.
Visit aarp.org/caregiving to connect with experts and other caregivers. Together we can better care for ourselves and the ones we love.
All right, Peggy, we're back, and all things good. Everything had a good show today. We just want to keep telling you folks, pay attention out there because school is back in session, and the little people are on the road now at the time that they weren't because they were at home sleeping and whatever. So they're back in school. A lot of traffic on the road around 8 o'clock. 8 to 8:30 when most everybody else is traveling. So like Jimmy said last week, in the summertime it takes him about 5 minutes to get to work, and now it takes about 15 so
because the road's busy.
Road's busy, and there's a lot of kids out there, and pay attention to them, and get ready for Tullahoma High School football season. I had a good
first game, do you know?
The 19th. 19th of this month. I had a good talk with John Olive yesterday. We were setting up how we're going to do the show this year and all of that stuff, and John said he was really pleased with the boys that he has, and he said they're going to be competitive. He said, but they're young. He's playing a lot of sophomores. He's even has sophomores backing up sophomores, and even some freshmen that will see playing time. And he said, but they're good kids, and they're working really hard, and they, if they go play a senior laden team, they're going to get beat because they're just young. You take a 17, 18-year-old boy versus a 15
that's right.
year-old boy. There's a whole lot of growth takes place in those 2 years.
Exactly.
But he's really pleased with the effort that they're putting out, and he said they're going to win some ball games. He said, but we're about a year away. He said in 17, watch out. The kids are very talented.
Do you know who the first game
Coffee
was?
County.
Oh, they started out with
Coffee County. Now they started that last year, which used to be 2 years ago.
Used to be the
last game of the season, but now it's the first game of the season.
My heart's always torn when we play Coffee County because I went to Coffee County High School. And I live here in Tullahoma, so I kind of love both sides. And
yeah. You were probably queen bee over there, weren't you?
Well, I marched out there with the band.
Did you?
Carrying my flag.
Carry that flag.
Waving that flag.
Nobody
ever stops and says much about the band. The band in Tullahoma is
they're
fantastic. Oh, my gosh.
They get their due.
They're really super
They
good.
get their due. They do a good job, and we're just real proud to be here where we are. We talk about so many things. We've mentioned the Arts Center today. Always pay attention to what happens at the Fine Arts Center. Folks, most little towns like Tullahoma don't have a facility like that.
That's right. We're very fortunate.
It's paid for by your membership and your donations, and a little bit of city money, and there's some grant money that they get.
The Hands-On Science Center.
Hands-On Science Center is another one.
Splash and Pool, what is it called?
Splash Island. Splash
yeah.
Island. And do you realize if you're a member of the Hands-On Science Center, there are hundreds of science centers you can go to using that membership card.
And Huntsville is one.
Nashville. Matter of fact, a lot of the Nashville people join in Tullahoma because it's cheaper to join in Tullahoma than it is in Nashville, and that card's honored everywhere. So, and then of course we have our favorite thing that we love to promote because we love music and we love entertainment and stage and production, and that's the South Jackson Civic Center. We're getting ready to start the Light Up South Jackson campaign. Has reached a level here where pretty soon they will start working on the exterior lighting and the parking lot and redefining the outside of that.
I'm anxious to see that so that I can believe that it's going to happen.
It's going to happen. So we've gotten to a monetary threshold that flips the switch on the first part of that, and it's soon to take place. And don't forget our country show, and also don't forget that Gary Morris, the fabulous Gary Morris, is going to be at South Jackson Civic Center on the 25th. No, 27th.
He's opening our performing arts season.
And he's in Russia right now. He went to Russia to do two things: fly fish.
That's an interesting.
And he's over there because he does work with.
Is he running with Putin?
I don't know. They might be Putin on down the water, but he works with the Tretyakov Museum there, and which houses 100,000 pieces of Russian artwork.
Did you interview him? Did you get to do that interview with him?
I did an interview. We Skyped an interview with him last week, so we'll play that for you in a little bit. One of the few people who has been on the Grand Ole Opry.
And on the Broadway stage.
And on the Broadway stage.
To me, that's phenomenal. He did Les Mis, and when I saw Les Mis, it just hit a chord in my heart, and it was one of the most wonderful shows I've seen.
And La Boheme, he also did that.
He's done everything. He's done everything. He's a phenomenal
But the reason he's
performer.
fly fishing is he has a thing that he does called Healing Waters, where he takes veterans who come back in a state that they have stress syndrome,
PTSD.
They've lost a leg, they've lost a limb, they've lost something. He takes them and they go out to Colorado. He has a home in Colorado, and they fly fish. And he said nature and the calming and teaching them how to tie flies and to fly fish, you can take someone with terrible problems and put them in a river.
And exactly, and that becomes their church.
And that becomes the place where they can be.
Their spirit is.
Their spirit is.
My brother-in-law was a fisherman.
Gary Morris, thank you for doing that. And just you folks don't forget you can call 455-5321 get your tickets. Thanks for being with us today. We're going to close with one more song from Rock the Hollow. See you next week.